I've finally clambered out of my cave to make the Abu Dhabi race review. This video has been weird because time just doesn't feel real anymore since F1 finished. That sounds really depressing, but just it's the winter now and everything, so yeah, here's the Abu Dhabi race reaction. Hope you enjoy it. In terms of races, Abu Dhabi was pretty much the quintessential, big words we're using today, race of the 2023 season. After all, Max won, Max took pole, Max dominated, Sergio Perez had an okay race, which would be okay for any other driver, but in the best car on the grid is really not that great. But heading into the race weekend, everyone was hoping that we could have a non-Red Bull victory. It looked like it, as McLaren were on the pace all weekend. Q1 was pretty boring, and so was the rest of qualifying, but the only interesting thing that really happened was Logan Sargent not being able to set a time because he kept on exceeding track limits. But realistically, who needs to obey track limits when you have freedom and democracy on your side?
What the fuck is a kilometer?
Q3 is where it got a bit interesting, and that's just simply because Lando Norris was challenging Max Verstappen. Up until he headed into the final sector, into his section that I'm currently playing, we're heading through this exact same corner, he slid wide as he hit a curb and he completely fucked his Q3 lap. And that was it. His weekend and the positive result we could have got out of it was carved out the window because Verstappen took pole, and you probably guessed by now, he just ran away into the distance. The race was pretty much the same as usual. I mean, you had Hamilton complaining about the car, Verstappen running away with it. Sergio Perez made his way back up through the field after having a bad qualifying session. He went to go get past Lando Norris, but slid a bit wide and he almost hit Norris. I think he actually tapped him, and this sort of was a bit of a harsh penalty to get 5 seconds for, but it didn't really matter, except if you're Ferrari, because Charles Leclerc somehow managed to finish second without Ferrari deciding to commit acts of terror against him. But it didn't matter in the end, as Mercedes got P2 in the championship, and part of that reason is down to Ferrari themselves. Carlos Sainz didn't get into Q3, not even Q2, he was knocked out in Q1, and Ferrari thought, hang on, why don't we fuck it up even more? Because what they did is they made him sit on the same set of tyres for pretty much eternity until they realised there was no safety car coming out and they just retired him. So when Ferrari could have just got 5 points and that would have been it, they could have got second. No, they fucked that up somehow. Don't know how, but it's just clown-like at this point. I don't even know what they're thinking, because 2023 hasn't had that many safety cars because there's been absolutely no crashes and nothing interesting this season. There hasn't been any interesting crashes, close racing, any sort of challenge for the wins, and yeah, just general fuck all in terms of everything interesting. So combine the lack of safety cars this season with the fact that unless Nicholas Latifi is racing, there's barely any a safety car in Abu Dhabi. Why did they think this was a good idea? Anyway, they fucked up their own chances, and yeah, that's basically all what happened to Ferrari all weekend. There was one other good moment this weekend, and that is Yuki Tsunoda. This man qualifies in the mid-pack in a shit AlphaTauri, proceeds to then just say thanks French toast, if you get the meme reference then you know, but he decided to thank him before the race started, before then leading the race and dragging AlphaTauri to within a couple of points of Williams. Absolute Sigma bastard of the year, and his performance this season has been absolutely wild. But overall this season has been quite boring. There has been some good moments, such as, well, most of them have happened not in the race, such as Max Verstappen almost being thrown in prison, Lance Stroll being Lance Stroll, and Lance Stroll being Lance Stroll by throwing it into the wall in Singapore, and then him making Jos Verstappen proud by punching his mechanic, Carlos Sainz hitting 88 miles per hour at Las Vegas, and Ferrari fucking everything up. So this season hasn't really been that good, and yeah, it's just really bad for F1 because all their graphs and statistics for followers is beginning to level out, because all the Drive to Survive fans are now disappearing because F1 isn't as good as it's presented in Drive to Survive. It really says a lot about this season when this is one of the top 5 races, when this video has barely even been able to make anything interesting out of it. But hopefully, moving into 2024, we can actually have, or I don't know, maybe a title battle, or I don't know, a good race where it's not just, oh yeah, crash happened, I mean changeable weather or something that actually does something. But this is the last race recap of the year, and if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you haven't, tell me why in the comments below, and I'll see you later.
No, come on, stop the shit.